Okay, I think Anjali, you take over.
Yes, sir. So, good evening, everyone. Uh, I hope that all of us are doing well with all our peers, keeping safe and following all the quarantine rules. Um, so, as we have already crossed the time, let's get started with the meeting, or should I say the farewell party. After meeting the chill with warm emotions, with deep reverence and heavy hearts, but yet happy emotions, we all are here to bid farewell to our graduating batch students. I, Anjali Rameshwari, member of AME, would like to take the privilege to welcome all of you who have taken their time to join in this farewell party. Welcome to our HOD sir, to all the professors from our department, and to all our beloved graduating students. So now, first, I would like to call upon our HOD sir to please address the audience.
Okay, thank you, Anjali. It's a pleasure to be here. And I think I am sort of in a mixed state of mind right now because, on one side, it's a sort of a mini history which we are creating by having a farewell, which is the first time we are conducting, but it is under circumstances which we would not like to have done that actually. On one side, it's exciting to a certain extent to see the technology which allows us to talk to each other on this platform and also interact with each other. And we have been slowly using this. And as all of you know, we will be using this in the next semester for complete teaching. So it's a quite an exercise which will happen, and it will be a collective learning for all of us. But on the other side, of course, I'm sad because I took over on 1st of February and with a lot of plans, but now the farewell cannot be done in person. So welcome to all of you. I think I hope you are all safe, as Anjali also started her talk today. Welcome to all my colleagues. Special thanks to AME and the coordinator, Dr. Bhattacharya, and all his students team. I think in the last 4 or 5 months, the institute has gone through several challenges, and at individual levels also, I'm sure you all will have also gone through several challenges. I would request everybody to please mute their microphones. So I think we are faced with unprecedented challenges, and the uncertainties of life, which are usually there, are suddenly come, and we are confronted with these uncertainties in a very big way. And on many fronts there are uncertainties now. So it is in these very singular circumstances that you are passing out, and I can fully understand and appreciate your state of mind also. You must have come and visited the campus recently, or you must be in the let's say you want to travel and vacate your rooms. Most of you might have done it also. And I can very well imagine the state of mind in which you have visited the campus. The graduation and the follow-up is a very happy time for all of us. It comes once in our lifetime. And in this particular year, we are facing this pandemic. Nevertheless, let me also say that every such challenge gives us the opportunity to learn new things, to adapt ourselves to the newer challenges which are coming. And I think your generation is really on. Every generation has its own crossroads. If you see the history of mechanical engineering, and then how steam engine transformed humanity, how the industrial revolution transformed the human society. And later on, it was the era of electronics when miniaturization took place, and that transformed the way we do everything, the way we do business, the way we conduct ourselves. I don't know, you will be surprised to know that when I did my MTech from this institution, that was the year 1998 to 2000, we had only one STD booth, below the administrative building, where the PRO's office is right now. So in last 15 years, we have seen the internet now, changing the way we are doing everything, and including our meeting today. And then if you look at the future, I mean, you have now artificial intelligence coming in, you have machine learning coming in, you have man-machine interaction coming in, and you also see such a wave of changes which are happening in the way we conduct ourselves. So I think it's a big challenge, and it's a very good opportunity for all of us to learn and adapt. I mean, one of the things which always comes to my mind is that, even if you see the biggest industry, for example, railways, okay, you will see that the total number of employment generation possibility there is of the order of 12 to 15 lakhs, and railways has been there for so many years, and with such a big infrastructure and the government behind it. So you guys are going to see an era in which generation of employment. I mean, I always see students with a black coat and a tie, standing in front of a big company's interview. But I think this era is going to slowly slowly end. And especially in our country, I would say that you guys have the responsibility of generating employment, generating ideas, generating new platforms on which people can do business and you can employ people. So I would like to see you in the coming days, after 20 years or 15 years, when you come back to your reunion here in the campus. Hopefully we'll be around, and we would like you to be CEOs of big companies with your own ideas. So I think this is a very good opportunity right now. If you see worldwide, we are in a very good strategic position. It is a fantastic opportunity for you people to sort of grab, look at the society, understand the society, interact with the society, try to create solutions to so many problems which are around, and come up with ideas and platforms wherein you are in a position to employ people. I remember in my grandfather's days or in my father's days, people used to stick to one job and that's all. They used to hang around there for 30, 35 years. But that era is gone, Already today, few employees expect to work in the same job for their entire life. I think by 2050 or so, I mean, not just the idea of a job for life, but even the idea of a profession for a life might seem to be old-fashioned. So nimbleness, nimbleness is something which is how you respond to the societal needs and how you create business platforms wherein you are able to change not only your job, but your profession. So the whole essence of what we have taught you is to tackle new problems, okay? So it is not only mechanical engineering, which we have seen in the last 4 years of your life here, but how to tackle new problems in the most efficient way. I mean, the COVID problem came, and the institute as a whole, with all your cooperation, we have fought that problem, and we are still holding on. We are still reasonably safe than the other societies around us, okay, other clusters around us. So when new problems come, how do you, with a nimbleness, with your frame of mind, with your presence of mind, with the training which you have got, and continuous learning which is happening, how do you change yourself and respond? I mean, even if we could constantly invent new jobs and retain the workforce, one of the problems which I foresee is also the emotional stability. In the coming days, with these uncertainties around you, the person who are going to be successful are the ones who are going to be psychologically strong and mentally, emotionally strong. You know, I mean, I wonder sometimes whether the average human being will have the emotional stamina which is necessary for a life of such endless, upheavals which we are seeing. So whatever change is coming, the change is always stressful, and whatever the hectic world, around us, we have to make sure that we are emotionally stable, and we are doing effective stress management to respond to such changes. I think we have, as an institute, as a department, as faculty colleagues, we have tried our best to impart you modern education tools, analytical tools, to look at the world from a logical way, from a logical perspective, and come up with scientific solutions. If you see the employment scenario across the world, it is not very rosy at this moment of time, and that makes you still more in a position where we have to fight. Nobody is also sure of how this new era of let's say artificial intelligence and machine learning and man-machine interactions and big data, how is it going to affect the employment scenario? So, of course, it's a cliche to say the toughest survives, but how to come into that toughest range? A part of it we have tried to give you through our interactions, but the whole world is now open in front of you, and you have to respond with this knowledge which you have already got from the institute and from the interactions and from the society for the last 20-21 years. So we cannot allow ourselves to be complacent, and learning should continue. I think that is my message on this day. It's let me, as a parting message, let me just share my screen. I have just one slide which I will like to share with you. Can you see this? Jishnu, can you see this slide?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, so let me come in Hindi and explain. It's a very simple statement which many years back my grandfather taught me, and it says it says he ya bhi, you know. So in Hindi, मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बात कर लेता हूँ जाने के पहले 2 मिनट में. हम लोग ये कहते हैं कि मैं ये ही करूंगा, मैं ऐसा ही चाहता हूँ, मैं ये ही खाता हूँ. So we keep using this word he, to stress that this is my demand. But the changing world, sometimes you have to change from he to bhi, and the life becomes sometimes easier to maneuver. And then when the circumstances are better, you can probably stick on to he also. So you say, मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ, मैं ये भी खा सकता हूँ, मैं ये भी यहाँ भी जा सकता हूँ. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you change from he type of a mindset to a bhi type of a mindset, you are more nimble. Then although you are trying to maximize everything, but if the circumstances are not very favorable, you try to optimize and try to come to a local maxima, stay there for some time, get hold of your life, and then again with full energy, go for a larger maxima in the future. So with this simple, parting a tidbit of thing which I got from my grandfather, I would like to close my my talk. I would like to sort of, wish very good for you in the future. And as I said, the prevailing circumstances provide you with an opportunity. With the training which you have got, I am very sure you will be successful in life. Be nimble. Make sure that you are in a position to generate employment for the country. As the word Atmanirbhar has suddenly become a word of in vogue today, but it has very deep implications. To be Atmanirbhar, you have to be confident and you have to believe in yourself, to take that step. So with this, I thank you all for joining, and I wish you great success and happy times to come. And please do come to the institute whenever you get an opportunity. We would like to meet you in person and say the remaining part of the goodbye whenever we meet. You know, whenever we meet, we want to really meet you in person. So please make an opportunity whenever it comes. Do come to the campus and stay safe. Thank you very much. So Anjali, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That was truly enlightening. And as truly said, this is the correct time to explore other opportunities and just get some new ideas and start settling with the new. So now moving forward to the program, I would now like to call Dr. Biswas to please share his opinion.
Thank you, Anjali. Good afternoon to everybody.
Professor Vishwas, can you switch on your video as well?
Is it needed? I mean,
okay, it's up to you. I mean, it's good to see your face as well.
I was thinking that whether you have the adequate bandwidth.
Oh, it should be okay.
Maybe,
I can close if you want. Yeah, just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, let me start, then, you know, I can sort of mute this as well. Good afternoon. It's such a delight to get back among the students and to get the opportunity to address the graduating batch. I fondly remember down the memory lane my days at IIT Kanpur before 2009. I professionally grew with this environment. Many of you perhaps know that I was not in the institute for a long period, little more than 10 years. Having, you know, returned to IIT system, I was in IIT system in another IIT. Having returned to IIT Kanpur, I find it doubly delightful. Really speaking, your days in IIT Kanpur, the graduating batch specifically, you will be remembering maybe your Antaragni days, maybe, you know, the eventful outing to Kanpur city, then maybe, you know, struggle with examination, struggle with assignment submission, competitive, you know, spirit in, you know, different inter-hall competitions, take kriti. All these will come back to your life again and again. And it's a really treasure throughout your life. I want to give a very special message about saying goodbye. Bidding goodbye is not really bidding goodbye forever. Goodbyes are not the end. They simply mean we will miss you till we meet again. So we'll be very eager to meet you again and again in, you know, several walks of life. And, you know, for you also, memoir is a record of many sensations, breathing of friendship, reconciliation, success, and, you know, temporal setback, again getting, you know, reconciled, encouragement by the friends, leading a life with some feeling of togetherness. And this will not happen. This has happened during last 4 years. This will not happen again and again. This is a very, you know, rare memoir. See, IIT is a home of learning, place where you acquire knowledge, and this knowledge is today adequate to handle the society that has progressed, on the verge of fourth industrial revolution, starting with first, say, that, this is a very favorite topic. Few days back, I gave some webinar across the country about the, academia and the industrial revolution. So, the challenges of all the industrial revolution, rather challenges of the society, that society faced that challenge, and eventually we embarked on it based on our knowledge base created by the scientists. And, first industrial revolution gave us the utility of motion, turning all handlooms into power loom. Second and third industrial revolution were different. Second was, led by microelectronics. It is symbolized by John Bardeen's transistor discovery. Then, third industrial revolution is symbolized by Professor Iijima's discovery of buckable structure, which is basically carbon nanotubes. And finally, fourth industrial revolution is today, which is basically integration of cyberspace with the physical space. Hello? Okay.
Yeah, I will mute him.
You have acquired all these and you are really ready to face the challenge. Maybe, bandwidth is short. I can temporarily keep it on off again. I'll come back. So in IIT, basically, you had the rare opportunity of being educated while staying in close proximity of the finest academicians available in the country. You were brought up to the culture which differentiates education with complete education with the training for a profession. Training for a profession is essential, as I was mentioning. But we believe that in IIT system, we give proper education, which is something else together with training for a profession. The learning from here are directed towards setting up a brighter future on a higher ground of moral and intellectual outfit. It is a moment of pride for you as much as for your teachers, all of us, for your parents, and of course, those who have contributed, in nurturing and shaping up your life in this journey. But this journey will not end here. It will not end until you fulfill the, requirement of challenges of life, which Professor Khandekar was mentioning about. That is basically the, dealing with the sort of odd situations and obviously dealing with favorable situations as well. So you have to be, mentally so balanced, so, equitably set that success and failure, you would be able to handle both with equal competence. And that is probably a part which we could not contribute much in IIT. We tried, but that locally or temporarily you have been upset with your marks, with your success, with your failure. But it's a life lesson. Now you will slowly acquire it and start your journey. All of us know, see, if you recall, maybe it also requires a little bit acquaintance. I think you know a little bit about IIT system. One of our big think tanks, Professor S.P. Sukhatme, who was former director of IIT Bombay, he was very, sort of sensitive about this issue related to brain drain. And he wrote quite a few articles before becoming director, when he was deputy director of IIT Bombay. And he wrote that when those days will come, we'll be able to convert brain drain into brain circulation. Now, really speaking, it started about 20 years back. That was probably, he was no longer in the IIT system. He was in the IIT system, no longer the director. After superannuation, he was in IIT Bombay. And we met once on this topic again, and he was very happy that really brain drain has converted into brain circulation. So today, IITians can proudly say the opportunities created by IITians now in United States itself, this Deshpande and several others, Sundar Pichai, they are now the creators of opportunities. And in United States, in Europe, in some parts of Asia, and obviously in India. And people are now going abroad, definitely, large number, but they are coming back. And they are coming back, or they are getting redistributed everywhere. So basically, we can say that IIT alumni, have set this train to convert, brain drain into brain circulation. And they are to be congratulated, thanked. I'm so happy to see that you will be joining that bandwagon shortly. We do hope and believe that all our, outgoing students, all of you, each one of you is the flag bearer of IIT Kanpur, and you will put up your effort in bringing about a great change in the social system. And whatever you do, the character of IIT Kanpur will get reflected, and which is today a name. See, if you go by the sort of this ranking agencies, ranking, etc., admittedly, IIT Kanpur has some, local setback in that, but even then, IIT Kanpur is symbol of excellence, right? So that should be reflected through your activities. I do hope that together with alumni of IIT system, you will play a vital role in breaking the chains of low standard of living, not only in India, but is in the entire developing world, in several countries. Making own money is obviously desirable. All of us need comfort, but that is not the only target, nor your management skill, nor mere elaboration of, efficiency. What we respect most is basically you do something for holding your head high together with your community. So basically, we respect most of, fervently, the individually, playing free play of your intellect and developing friendship with other individuals who are the fellows, and developing in a direction which demands respect, doing something, whether you are a scientist, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are maybe IAS officer, or you are industry champion. But whatever you do it, together with your, fellows, together with your friends, with full dignity, so that, you can really be proud of it. You can make all of us proud. The notable values of caring and sharing The ethos of service and sacrifice have kept our society away from the dangers of extinction. See, the societal evolution, if you see, that societal footprint, that often faces danger of extinction. What I mean by danger of extinction, because some traits of that society, some sort of footprints of that society, which are of immense value, those are lost. So we have to be really careful in creating this value addition. So as inheritors of a society which blossomed up with great values for life and a deep concern for human development, the graduates of IIT Kanpur should intensely aspire for deepening and broadening, the spread of it. Your knowledge, your experience, your power of unity, your collective teamwork will always be guided by such ethical values to create that difference, to create that mark of excellence. So therefore, friends, let us really look forward for a newer society. We are just sort of, this society will remain, we will do some value addition. We shall really look forward for yet another glorious period of this ancient land, from immense contribution of you and your friends, the entire batch. I wish each and every one of you a great success in your endeavor, and during the pandemic and post-pandemic era, you lead a safe life, stay safe, keep well, and contribute immensely in the well-being of this world. Means it's today a flat world. It is going beyond the countries. So basically, well-being or wellness factor of the country, of all the countries, matter. See, if one country prospers, it cannot survive with this prosperity if the neighboring countries are not in peace, if the neighboring countries are disturbed, or other countries, not even neighboring, I mean, entire world, anywhere, any small problem today in the flat world will affect all others. So I'm probably, sounding like a sort of philosopher, but see, philosophy is a part of life. It may not affect the entire society immediately, but it will mark a beginning somewhere. And if really all of us start believing a value system, feeling for each other, and believe in well-being of entire society together at large, it will fructify down the line. It will the days are not far. It will be sort of effective. So with this, with all high hope and high sort of belief, on behalf of all the faculty members, I again wish you, each one of you, the very best in your life's journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biswas, for those kind words. Now, moving forward, I would like to call Dr. Vyas to please voice out.
So can you see me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
These are the most common words these days. Am I audible? Am I visible? Well, a very good evening to all of you. It is strange that you guys are considering yourself to be unlucky, that you've not had any physical farewell like we used to have often. But in a sense, you are very lucky also. I'll start with, you've already gone through two talks. I'll make it brief. Yesterday, I got a call from one of your batchmates. Not your batchmates. He's passing out this year, but he did ME 354 with me this year. And I realized that you are the only batch which has passed out without giving any end semester examination, without going through the rigor of your BTech project presentation, the fabrication part, the assembly part, the last mile of your undergraduate learning. You are escaping without that. So in a sense, you're very lucky. And I got a call from him and he made a very strange request. He was on the boundary line of C, D, F, whatever it is. But since you can give only A, B, C grades and then no D and F grades, so D and F is to be given S grade. So I was very lenient on him and gave him a C grade because he was on the boundary. I pushed him to give him a C grade so that he passes out. And he came up with a request saying that, sir, you gave me a C grade. I was expecting an S. I had never done so well because with an S grade, I would have passed out with 7 and I would have qualified for many interviews and many companies. But with a C, I get 6.97. Can I get my C converted to S grade? So you know how lucky you are. So it is not always that misfortune and a gloomy atmosphere always works to disadvantage. In many ways, I'm sure it is going to work for your advantage. Now, as I reflect on what IIT generally gives to a student, is that the most important personality trait that has got ingrained into you in your last few years of your stay in IIT is that you built a professional stamina. Like today, even in your farewell, you asked us to give three speeches. It is a reflection of your stamina, a professional stamina. And this stamina will make you go through any kind of professional situation. It is this stamina which makes you different than the graduates or the postgraduates or pass outs of other institutions. You'll be able to survive. I'm sure the most dominant feeling in all of you at this stage, at this point in your life, when you're passing out of IIT, is that, oh, I have survived. I've survived my last 4 years of existence in IIT. I've survived it. I have come out unscathed. Whether I am a 5-pointer or a 10-pointer or a 7-pointer doesn't really matter. That I have come out of it is a great sense of relief. It's that survival thing that you have got ingrained into yourself. And I'm sure that you will survive, and IITian will survive. He will not sink. He will not drown, most of you. It doesn't really matter whether you are a 5-pointer or a 10-pointer, because this is just a reflection of how you have done during those 3 hours. In fact, when we were doing this nano satellite Jugnu about 10 years ago, it was India's first nano satellite. And at any instant of time, we had a group of nearly 50 students working with us in the lab, boys and girls. We had students from not just mechanical engineering, but electrical engineering, computer science, civil engineering, mathematics, civil, even economics students. And they used to drink in the lab, they used to sleep in the lab, they used to cook in the lab. And what I realized was that our most productive students, the most creative guys were not the 10-pointers, but the 5-point somebodies. Those 5-point somebodies, or those idiots, as you would like to call them, they were the most creative of them. So I'm not trying to glorify 5-point business, but I'm just saying that there is a lot more that you have got from IIT, which goes beyond your grades, and that is the biggest trait that you have got ingrained into yourself is the instinct to survive, or the capacity to survive in the most competitive of environments, most cutthroat of environments. You will survive, you will not die. Professor Gautam Biswas talked about Professor Sukhatme. I also recall Professor Deepak Phatak. Professor Sukhatme had taught me at IIT Bombay. Professor Deepak Phatak there was an interview on NDTV a couple of years ago, and Professor Deepak Phatak, who has trained generations of computer scientists in the country, in India and abroad, he was asked by Manvi Dhillon, what is it that makes IT education so different than others? So the first statement, Professor Deepak Phatak is still around. Many of my colleagues and others also would have heard of him and known him. He said that the thing that we do to a student as he enters the campus, or as he enters the portals of IIT, is that we start chewing on the student right from the moment he enters the campus. We relentlessly keep clawing you. We relentlessly keep chewing upon you. We don't give you time to rest. Whether it starts with the 8 o'clock class, with the assignments, quizzes, with the sports events that you have, with the cultural events that you participate in. Your life in IIT is relentless. There is not a second or not a minute of time where you are breathing at ease. So it is this rigor and this continuous polishing that gets done, whether we do it deliberately, whether we do not do it deliberately, but it happens during your stay in IIT. As you move out, you will also realize that the quality of companionship that you have got in IIT has been very high. All your mates, all your friends, all your professors have been really top class. You will not get this kind of companionship anywhere else in the world and anytime else in your life. The kind of companionship that you've got in your hostels, the kind of companionship that you have got in the lecture halls, in the lab classes, that has been really top class. And I still relish the kind of companionship that I had during my BTech days. There's nothing to match it. And you will also find that there would be nothing to.
NSV आपकी वीडियो अटक गई.
Is my video stuck? Is my video stuck?
No, it's fine. Now it's stuck. It's gone.
No, you go ahead, Professor Vyas. It's okay.
Okay. So, one second. So, as I was saying, that these are some very, very important things that that you have got built into your culture now, and you will realize that once you go out in the big bad world, as it is called, it is much more than getting than doing well in your assignment and doing well in your examination. And it is here that these qualities or in an exam, you think that you've got 60 marks out of 100 or 80 marks out of 100, you've done 8 problems correctly out of the given 10 problems. You feel very happy and you feel satisfied that, oh, I'll get an A grade. But when you go and design, say, an anti-lock brake system for an automobile, or design and test a derailment device for a train, or when you're launching a satellite, if you do 8 problems correctly and 2 problems of the satellite are not solved, then it will not fly. What you need to learn is that you have to do all the 10 problems correctly. You have to get 100 out of 100. Not just get satisfied with just 80 out of 100. You have to get 100 out of 100 and get 100 out of 100 in all the 100 tests that your automobile has to go through. All the 100 tests that your train has to go through. All the 100 tests that your satellite has to go through. So it is this difference between the 80 and the 100 that you need to bridge, that India has not been able to bridge very successfully in most of the cases, most of our technology cases. So striving for excellence is what we have taught you. We have not made you excellent. You were excellent when you came here. But we have built in you a desire to strive for excellence. You keep striving for excellence. I don't want to be sounding moralistic here, but you should also realize that you have to keep defining yourself. What is your role? What is it that you want to do in life? You have to invent and reinvent yourself. And how do you reinvent yourselves? You have to reinvent yourself so that you become relevant to the society. You become relevant to your parents. You become relevant to your nation. You become relevant to these people when you understand what their needs are. You become relevant to India when you realize what is the need of India. What are the technology needs of the country? You don't just blindly follow because everyone is doing deep learning and learning Python and writing algorithms. Do that also, but you realize what is the need of the country, and this has come more into focus when the country today talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat. What is it that is going to make Bharat Atmanirbhar? What are the needs of the country in the agrarian sector? How do we double the income of the farmers? What is meant by doubling of the income of the farmers? What are the technology inputs that need to go into it? I'm sure 99% of you would not know what is the income of a farmer in the country and what would be required to double it. I'm sure you would not know what is meant by a smart city. What are the technology inputs that would go into a smart city? What is a smart village? If you understand all this, you will automatically define a role for yourself. You will automatically define your entrepreneurship. You will automatically define your engineering. You will automatically remain relevant to the society. And with this 100% or 80% thing, I also try and tell the students that, passing out students, that you have to keep giving your 100% in whatever you do. If you are capable of scoring a century, don't go there and get out at 20 every time that you go onto the pitch. Once or twice it is all right. But you go there, make 20 or 30 runs or 40 runs and get out. And not score a century when you are capable of scoring a century every time that you go there. If you don't do that, you do a grave injustice. And you do this grave injustice not to your parents, not to your society, not to your family. But the biggest injustice that you are doing when you are not giving 100% of what you are capable of is to your own self. You are being unjust to your own self if you are not giving your 100%. So you have to give 100% every time. If you do this, then what we teach you in IIT becomes meaningful, relevant. I think I can go on like this, but I have spoken enough, and Professor Khandekar, Professor Biswas have already talked to you about this. It would have been better if we had met over dinner, or I am reminded of, I joined this institute in '87, and the first party that we had was, in those days, the parties were not held in community center or some common place. They were held in the homes of faculty members. Generally, it was the head of the department, and the responsibility for dinner was not given to a caterer. It was the faculty members and the families and the wives and husbands who used to cook and serve the students. So, but the number of students was very small. We used to have a total crowd of about 150 to 200 persons. And the food, the cooking, the management, the drinks, etc., wherever it was possible. I think Professor Muralidhar and Gautam Biswas would remember that. Was done entirely with the faculty members. So as Professor Khandekar said, we leave it to some other time when you are back on the campus. But I hope the dinner next time will be on you, not on us. So I'll stop here and wish you all the best, and hope that you keep in touch, keep coming, because that is the greatest pleasure that we derive as teachers when an old student comes back to us and says, "Do you remember us? Do you remember me?" And most of the times we do not remember the student, but we try to say, "Oh, your face looks familiar, voice also, but you've changed so much." So we do hope that you also visit us in future. Keep in touch. Always keep in touch, and more than anything else, remain in close contact with each other, which is very easy. You as a collective are a big strength, a big transformative force. So don't lose contact with each other at least. And if you remain in touch, you will benefit more, and the institute will also benefit from your association with us. So wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yas. That is really great. Now, I would like to open the platform for our graduating students to share their experiences. And first, I would like to hand over the platform to Anurag Dwivedi to please share his experience in IITK and with our professors.
Thank you, Anjali. I will go in this video off mode because of the bandwidth problem. So first of all, I would like to thank Association of Mechanical Engineering and especially Tarun for approaching me to deliver this farewell address today. So since our professors has already told us a lot about the insightful life lessons that we have to take and carry along with us. So mostly I will talk about my student journey and what it has been, my stay at IITK, and how it has changed me as a person. So if I look back, it's certainly going to be a challenge for me to summarize last 5 years of my life and experiences at IITK in just a few minutes, but I will give it my best. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of us who are finally graduating, some with a bachelor degree, some with a master's degree, and some of us who are graduating with a dual degree. Isn't it amazing? I mean, as our professors were also talking, we all have managed to pass all the courses, labs, PTP project, our thesis, and all. So we have survived all this. And even after we have missed a lot of classes, labs, assignments, and even quizzes. So now, on looking back, it comes down to this. Coming to IIT Kanpur was always a dream for most of us before it even began, and a dream that we all lived through during very turbulent times. During our 11 days, during our class 11, 12, there were a lot of problems that many of us would have felt, but we all lived through it. However, it has also been a dream that we all have fulfilled today, and we are here awakened, inspired, and only to dream bigger and bigger. I still have a fresh memory of the day when I first came to IITK exactly 5 years and a week ago on 22nd July 2015. I can see a 18-year-old kid with his clothes, some books and documents standing in a queue in front of Hall 5 with all the excitement in his eyes, and also, along with that, a very strange fear of what type of people I'm going to meet, what kind of environment this would be, and will I be able to make good friends? Will I be able to make most use of IITK? Now, since the 5 years have passed, I can certainly tell that it just feels like yesterday when we made the most important decision of our life about coming to IITK and joining the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And on thinking about it, I find like not much has changed on this front. As we continue to make big decisions every day about our jobs, about kind of research work that we are going to do, or what university we are going to join. But today, there is a very big difference. We are here far more prepared, better informed, and also each of us have our own reserve of knowledge against what to come. In these past few years, we have transformed personally and professionally, and without a doubt, ITK has been instrumental in this process. So, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our professors for teaching us only concepts, not only concepts of mechanical engineering inside and outside those classrooms, but also very important hidden life lessons that we will be carrying with us forever. And then this experience would not have been complete without you wonderful, bright, eclectic people that make this experience more enriching and unforgettable. The depth of knowledge and experience that we have shared together inside our halls, our classrooms, our labs, be it central laboratory, be it library, or even be it different tea stalls inside the campus, be it MP, CCD. So everywhere we have created memories, even during our night outs, be it for project deadlines coming, or be it for preparing for exams. These experiences will certainly be priceless and unforgettable because we have created far stronger than a network. We have created a bond that is uh, that includes the respect, friendship, and even gratitude for each other for how we have helped each other and how we have basically stood along with our friends and for our friends. Now, this interest is certainly going to be incomplete if I don't recall our fun-filled experience in the department amidst all these flowing emotions that are there. So, be it like conducting experiments in fluids lab or heat and mass transfer lab, even sometimes manipulating the data because we are not getting the exact data because of some problem in the experimental setup, be it somehow completing the assignments last minute or even inventing clever ways to reduce the plagiarism in a term paper, and sometimes even looking for night outs just before the BTP. I mean, the BTP professors also talked about. Now, since many of us couldn't get the opportunity to go back to campus and collect all the belongings, but certainly we have bagfuls of memories with us that we are certainly going to carry forever. Thank you, IITK, for empowering our minds and a more open one. Again, I would like to thank our professors for such life lessons that they have given us. Thank you and good luck to all.
Thank you so much, Anurag. That really must have got all our seniors the refreshing moments back, the moments that they spent in IITK. Next, I would like to call upon Ashutosh to please share his experience.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sure.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone, respected professors and my dear fellow students and friends. First of all, I am grateful for the opportunity to speak today at this setting. This is actually a nice gesture from the department. Of course, we would have preferred an in-person farewell with snacks, and we would have liked to spend our last days spent in the campus, and we would have enjoyed high fives and celebrations as we graduate and so on. But alas, the world around us is facing far graver problems than this. So let's not worry too much about that situation. I have been given this time to speak about my experience at IITK, and I understand that it is too short a time to say something, to say everything. So I will try to present a short summary. Let's say synopsis. The thesis mode is still on, you see. It began with a fantastic orientation program which included a departmental orientation as well. Introductions were made and the journey began. Everywhere it's known that the academics at IITK is rigorous, and the continuous evaluation kept us quite busy while we were still adjusting to the new lifestyle. For most of the PG students, this way of instruction and evaluation is a bit unfamiliar, but with the wonderful facilities such as continuous all 24 by 7 Wi-Fi, library, and so many places to study, including student lounge and CCD, made everything a bit easier. There were a few workshops arranged by AME, which were great to start our learnings. And I hope more and more such sessions will be arranged for the new batches, for the next batches. My thesis supervisor, Professor Chatterjee, once told me that the courses should not be considered as hindrance to your research. Rather, they train you for your research. Therefore, you should focus on them equally. I can surely say that the courses helped me to build my thought process. We know that our campus is very vibrant and it provides so many opportunities to learn and participate in various activities. For master students, it may seem difficult to engage in co-curricular and extracurricular activities since the period we spend here is just 2 years, even less for our batch. But from personal experience of mine and some of my friends, I can say that we can manage just fine. Personally, I found that interactions between students from different labs in the department and interactions across programs are quite rewarding. For example, I am an MTech student and I have made friends with some of the UGs as well as dual degree students and some PhD students as well. And those conversations are always interesting. I think such interactions should be encouraged by the department and AME. Unfortunately, we missed one such event this year, our Research Scholar Day. But that's fine. Another opportunity for such interactions is TA duty. I did 3 TA duties, each one different than the other, and every time I have learned something new. So overall, we all have improved as a person. That is for sure. Finally, I would express my gratitude towards all the faculties of the department for an enriching experience in one way or the other. I would also thank the office staff for their help at every step, starting from the process of accepting the admission offer to the final no dues clearance. And of course, all my friends. We united at difficult times, such as our placements. Although we could have loved to see better stats, but I'm sure since we have come successfully so far, then we can surely find some way or the other to keep moving forward. I thank you all and wish all my student friends good luck for their better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. That was really good to hear. Now, before we move on, I would just take a moment to thank all the seniors from the behalf of their juniors, because without you guys, like, we wouldn't have had a journey in the department been so smooth. Like, be it the PG students or the BTech fourth year students or the third year students, you guys have been helping us with our departmental courses and selecting the department electives or the open electives. A huge thanks to all of you from all the juniors. Now, moving forward, I would like to call the AME president to please share a short message. Tarun.
Thanks, Anjali. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to I'd like to thank everyone who are present in this meeting, and I'm glad to see that this meeting strength has remained more or less constant throughout the meeting. So that's a good point, and the it shows that the amount of interest and amount of eagerness to attend the farewell the students have. So I would start. I hope that all of you are safe at your places. I was talking with Anurag yesterday, where we were talking about how indeed a difficult task it was to prepare a 3-minute speech or message summarizing all the years. As when you sit down to write something, a whole tsunami of memories hit you back in nostalgia. So I still remember the date. It was around 5 years back, as Anurag said, on 22nd July 2015, when I entered IIT Kanpur for the first time as a young, enthusiastic and curious child who did not know much about the IIT system, though I had prepared for it. I just knew that this place had had amazing faculty, and I was about to learn some cool things ahead. As I leave 5 years down from that time, I'm still as much young, much more enthusiastic, and a whole lot more curious about so many different things. I would like to express my gratitude and hats off to the whole institute for taking care of our curiosity and providing ample amount of opportunities so that our enthusiasm didn't die. I still remember a line from our previous director, Professor Indraneel Manna's speech during our orientation, where he said, quoting, you are entering as boys and girls, but while leaving, I am confident that you leave as responsible men and ladies. The quote might not be completely correct, but the context is indeed. Looking back in retrospect, I find that these years spent in IIT Kanpur have transformed my personality, character, and a whole lot of things towards a great deal. These years have been a great initiating steps in my life. I still have a lot to learn, and with the things I take from this place, I am confident and looking forward to facing all the hurdles that life's gonna throw at me. In the past 5 years, I've been extremely fortunate to have made unforgettable memories and friends for lifetime. The night outs, the bulla sessions, birthday treats, all the fights, all the classes we bunked for just sleeping for extra 10 minutes and then realizing 1 hour passed by, binge watching multiple shows, and a lot more. I am indeed grateful to the to all the amazing professors for all their teachings and for beautifully imparting the lessons, which was not only academic lessons but also some one-liners or short live lessons. I'd like to conclude by thanking Professor Samir Khandekar and Professor Jishnu, who took the initiative for organizing this virtual farewell and making it as pleasant and realistic as possible, and trying their best so that we relish the moment for the rest of our lives. And a sincere apologies to all who are waiting for the farewell dinner. I hope when we meet next, we'll have something. Thank you all. Thanks, Anjali. You can have the stage for now.
Thank you so much, Tarun. The moments that you described in this short message, it really got me back into the moments that I've spent in campus. So now I would like to call upon Professor Jishnu to please give the vote of thanks.
Anjali, before I speak, can you, open the floor for anybody who wants to share anything?
Yes,
First, the faculty members who did not speak, and then anybody from the student body.
yeah. So if anyone wants to voice out their experience or to give their messages, the goodbye messages or the thanking messages, you can please go ahead. Also, I would like to open the platform for professors, Professor Murlidhar, Professor Kamal, Professor Mohit, and all the other professors who are present to please speak something and please bid their goodbyes to the students.
Yeah, can I say something?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, so I would like to wish all the students, those who are here and others, a very productive and successful future. But I also have a comment to add. Our HOD spoke about, saying, he ya be. So I really liked it. And there is an English equivalent I just remembered, which is, it should never be A or B. It sounds like he or B. It should always be A and B. So when you make life's choices, you welcome all influences. You get involved in everything, not one at the exclusion of the other. So have a great life ahead. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Professor Murlidhar, for the inspiring message. Yeah, the floor is open for our graduating batch students as well to share their experience or to share their goodbye messages for the Thanksgiving.
Floor is open, please just jump in and grab the mic.
Okay, so I think that Professor Jishnu, I think you can continue with your vote of thanks.
Okay, so it is really nice that we could gather and at least in virtual meeting we could say goodbye. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Professor Khandekar to take the initiative and also arranging this meeting through Zoom. Professor Biswas, Professor Vyas, Professor Murlidhar, Professor Kamalkar, Professor Mohit Law, and Professor Umesh Madanan for joining in and sharing their views with the students, and also Anurag and Ashutosh for their nice memories and connecting us with the background story of your student life. And again, Tarun and Anjali, who also arranged this meeting and the scheduling and all the work that the AME did for last 1 year. I would like to thank all of you and wish you all the best in and the success in your future. Thank you so much.
So Anjali, they can. I would request all of the students to start their videos. Don't move too much. Just be stable, and then they can take photographs if they want prints. They can do the print screen. Yeah, now we can see some faces. Perfect. So all of you can take some screenshots if you want, just for your memories. It will be interesting to see these photographs after 25 years or 10 years, you know, when you come back here, that this was the first farewell which was done in the pandemic time, through online platform. So during the course of the program, I have also taken a few screenshots, and it was a pleasure to have you all here and see your faces. Please stay safe. Please make sure that you are keeping your house and your locality also safe. And Anjali, you have something to say at the end, or should we just leave it like this and they can take some photographs and we can close afterwards?
Yes, sir. So just a small message from all the juniors that goodbyes does not mean forgetting. It's just like Dr. Biswas said, goodbyes means we will miss you until we meet again. We really look forward to meet all our seniors once again when we're back in campus. And thank you all for joining us today, for making this event happen and for the success of this event. Thank you all and wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you. So in about 2 minutes, I will close the meeting for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.